A lot of times I get asked the question, what separates dominant athletes from the rest? What separates the good from the great? What did you learn when you played around the most dominant players in the world when I was in the NFL? So I want to share with you guys that one distinction, that one thing that I think makes the biggest difference. Now, there's a bunch of things that make these guys different. That's just a fact. But I'm going to share with you guys the common denominator, the thread that I thought was the most powerful and the one that I spend the most time trying to instill in every single athlete that I work with, the one that has made the biggest difference in my life and my career, not as an athlete, but as a man, and has made the biggest difference in all the athletes, the hundreds of athletes that I work with, from the pro level to the high school and college, Division I, and so on. All right? And that habit is this. It's the habit of ruthless self-evaluation. So what does that mean? Tell me, do you know the guys who, when they get criticized, they quickly defend themselves? They get in their feelings. They ignore what they're hearing. They blame whatever it is that they did wrong on other people. These are the type of athletes that go nowhere. Now, the type of athletes that know how to ruthlessly self-evaluate means they aggressively and relentlessly seek after weaknesses and liabilities with the main intention of turning those weaknesses into strengths. All right. So that means they don't run from criticism. They don't cower from something that can make them a better player. They embrace that. They love the idea of that. Now, a lot of you are at a certain level in your sports career where you think you've got certain things figured out. You think you're good enough, or you think you might have this or that figured out. And when it comes to actually improving, you maybe run from criticism. And that means sometimes coaches might criticize you and you might start to feel a certain way about that. Now, what that really is just insecurity. And we all have it. We all deal with it. But in order to be strong, you must be weak first. That means if you want to improve, if you actually want to get to the level that you're going, you've got to be willing to be weak. And so the very idea of having a goal suggests that you don't have it yet. And if you don't have it yet, that means you lack something that you need. And so that actually is a good thing. And so you got to get to the point where you enjoy getting feedback from people and you don't run from it. This is a very important distinction. So all of the best players in the world, when let's look at Peyton Manning, for example. He watches so much film that he's able to identify weaknesses in himself that we don't even see. We might not even be able to watch it. He might have a game where he threw four touchdowns, 300 plus yards, but he's still after the game talking about all the things he has to do to get better. Now, is that just lip service? No, it's not. He actually enjoys getting better and is actually seeking for ways to get better. So let me ask you a question. What do you do when someone criticizes you? What do you do when someone tells you something that you know you could get better at and they don't necessarily say it the best way? What do you do? How do you react? If I asked you to list off all your weaknesses right now, are you able to tell me? If I asked you what is your plan or strategy for how you attack these weaknesses, are you able to tell me? Now, there's a very important distinction to make here. Being ruthlessly self-evaluating yourself doesn't mean beating yourself up all the time and make yourself feel bad about yourself. It's actually quite the opposite. The dominant athlete understands the value that they already bring. They know they're legit. They know they got the juice. But they also know that they have a lot to work on. And the fact that they already got the juice and they got a bunch they can work on just adds to the confidence. It just makes you more confident. The fact that you can have a dominant game and know that you can do better, that should just give you more confidence. So I want to show you a really quick method or way of thinking that can help you the next time you get any sort of criticism from someone that makes you feel a certain way, or that they don't say it the best way. Because at the end of the day, you need criticism. You need people to be able to evaluate you and identify the things that are going wrong so they can help you. All right. So the first thing is you have to listen. Obviously, listen. But that's not so obvious because a lot of times we don't listen. A lot of times we get our feelings involved and we just start ignoring them and we don't listen. Like the coach is screaming at us and we're like, man, the coach always screaming. Well, what's he telling you? What is he telling you? Is it something of value? So listen first. The second thing is you have to remind yourself of how good you are. Now, what I mean by that is you have to sell yourself on why you're good, why you deserve to go to the next level, why you deserve to reach all your goals. The reason I say that is because sometimes when we hear criticism, we associate that with, we make that mean that we're not good enough, or we might not be good enough to do what we're trying to do. But that's not true at all. All it means is that we have a particular weakness that we can get better at. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that you're not legit. It doesn't mean that you don't have the juice to get to the next level. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go pro. All it means is that somebody decided to point something out to you that you could possibly work on. All right? So remind yourself of why you're legit. Remind yourself of why you got the juice. All right? The next thing is I want you to apply what they said to you. Take from it what applies to you. All right. So you should already have a list of all your weaknesses. If this is a weakness of yours, if this is something you need to do, then make it work for you. Apply it. Do something about it. Start working on it. And then lastly, throw out whatever's left. I like to use the analogy of toilet paper. All right. When you use toilet paper, you use it for a specific purpose. And when you're done with it, you throw it away. You you use it for its purpose, and then you throw it away. You don't collect toilet paper. You use it and you throw it away. You get rid of it. It's the same thing with criticism. Use what will benefit you, and then throw out the rest. Throw out the rest. Be ruthless with that. Take what will benefit you, throw out the rest. By doing this, you will have exponential growth. You will grow so much faster. You will get better so much faster and more effectively than everyone else around you, because no one likes to deal like this. No one really likes hearing criticism, but you are. You're going to be different. That's the whole idea of I'm not you. You got to be a different type of athlete, a different breed. You have to love criticism. You have to love feedback. You have to ask for it, okay? I want you to go to your coach or your trainer, and I want you to ask them, what are the things that I need to get better at? What are my weaknesses as you see them? What are my mental weaknesses as you see them? What do you think I can do to get better? All right. And I'm also going to add my weekly self-evaluation. Now, this is a process that you go through on a weekly basis. That basically ask yourself a series of questions so that you can understand what your weaknesses are and create plans for how you're going to attack them each week. Imagine if you did this each week. People don't do this, man. Athletes don't do this. They need to start doing it. Also, I'm going to include for you in this video, and I want you to use it, is a post-practice evaluation. That means every practice, you're going to evaluate yourself. You're going to find out what went right, what went wrong, and what exactly you're going to do about it now. Imagine you did that every single practice. You walked into the next practice with a specific agenda on what you were going to improve. That type of intention leads to big time goal reaching. You are going to crush goals with that type of mental attitude. If you have the mental attitude that you don't like criticism, you don't want to hear it from anybody else, you're not going to make it far. But with this type of attitude, you're going to make it really far. So download these PDFs and do that ASAP. Talk to your coach. Start your weekly evaluation. Do it every Sunday. That's when I like to do it. And then post-practice evaluation. So every practice, you're going to print out the sheet. It has 2 of them on each page. Print out as many as you like and start doing this process every practice. Literally sit down in your locker room after practice and fill this out and take action on it. All right? Peace.